And good morning, coming to you live from Reno, Nevada. We are Rehab Talk Radio. Tonight on the docket, we got a few things. We got the crummy news. We got information on how to get you to help if you need it, no matter where you are in your listed area. So here's our channel content and our list of things to do. Now, when I decided that I was going to go ahead and form myself into rehab and detoxify myself. I didn't know what to do or where to go. You got a full time job. You say to yourself, okay, what's the step? We'll be talking about that in just a second. First, though, news we got Anne Heche has apparently passed away from yesterday's news. That's quite an endeavor. That's quite a shame considering I knew of this lady. I've been seeing her since I was a little kid, back when she was dating Ellen DeGeneres. Condolences on that matter that her son apparently had come out and said something about her. Now, I don't understand how a person can do that. That'd be the last thing on my mind would be going to national television and deciding, well, I decided that I want to go ahead and talk about that. But first, I'd like to get you guys in touch with a thing that I like to listen to every morning, my inspiration. It's Denzel Washington's speech, so we'll listen to that.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major, deciding what you want to do with life. I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I'll see what I'm going to finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test was 9 dot pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams.
Oh, that's some powerful stuff right there. There's the morning motivation that you go on to do exactly the thing that you want to do. Other news, did rainfall in 10 years floods Vegas. Yeah, Vegas, I was just there. They needed the rainfall. Unfortunately, two people have passed away on it. And online videos, if you want to check it out, of water leaking all throughout the strip, including Planet Hollywood. And it's the most intense monsoon season that they'd seen in over a decade. Yeah. As reported before, Anne Heche died of crash injuries after life support was removed, according to AOL News. Uh, they declared her brain dead on Friday. She had been in the car crash 9 days prior, and she was 53 when she'd passed away. Other news, the Daily Show correspondent Jordan Kepler talks about Emmy nominated special and extended controversial show, Insurrection. Yeah, it was historic and hooty hum, blah blah blah. But well, what all can come of this? It seems very slow moving. I mean, I would have thought, bam, right out of the gate they would have had things going, but it seems like it's taking a little bit longer than would have thought. Wish the government would hurry up and move it. Get it over with one way or the other. I don't really watch too much of Rachel or or gosh dang it, I can't remember half of their names. Gosh, that's how long it's been. And I don't watch Hannity or Chris Hayes or any of those people. I just imagine that they know what they're doing and it's all entertainment. I gotta love their detail and sources though. They're definitely better talkers than I am. They have the lingo down. Uh, so to start things off, I would imagine that the way to go would be to tell anybody and everybody that the way to do this, if you're in my position, which is one day broadcasting live on a YouTube feed to say, "Hey, I'm in a rehabilitation program," and you just want to tell the world, "Well, here's how you get there." We have a national helpline, and it's the SMHSA helpline, which I have no idea what that stands for. Which I would imagine, since it's the top search on Google, when you put detox center, it'll help you out. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how do I get out of a get out of the situation I'm in? I've got a full time job. I got responsibilities. That's what they're there for. It is a help deal, and most employers, like I was in the casino industry, and my employer definitely had no problem with letting me go off on medical leave of any kind. Now, then that's the beauty of it, is they cannot ask you why you're going as long as you got medical detail on it and you needed to take a leave of absence. That's a good deal. Um, you may have to have a doctor's note or some sort of a, proof that you were in a hospital at some point. But for all the rest, it's good to go. Place that I had gone to was it'll be on your search. It'll be below the detox button. So you'll have detox in your place. Like let's look up, say, St. Louis. Detox, St. Louis. Louis. All right, they do have this 1-800-662-4357 for the SMHSA helpline. They have Bridgeway Behavioral Health, which is closed now. If you're searching for these, the best way to do it is to try and find a 24-hour. That's a detox that'll help you anytime, day or night. You can admit. Okay, alcohol, ASHA abuse. They're not saying that they are open 24 hours. Paramedic accepted. Black closed, closed, closed. There are a lot of closed places. Open 24 hours. Willard Crisis Helpline, which could get you the place that you need to go. Seems they got a lot of places closed. MGA Crisis Intervention. It would be on 716 North 1st Street, number 202. Phone number 314-455-6089. And they are not saying that they're closed. That would be my starting point for St. Louis. Next on the docket left to talk about. After that, what detox would be like. Oh boy, there's a new subject all in itself. Detox is this place that you go into that almost feels like a jail. You go in and you are stripped basically of your clothing. You got to give up your clothes. They put you in a hospital gown from hell, and the whole back end of it is exposed. And when you go in, you have a 24-hour section. You get your bed, which is kind of a random bed, probably. Uh, got your clothes. You get a toothbrush, towel, soap, um, deodorant. hygienics, anything you need, and from there, they pretty much leave you to your devices. They have a TV on until late night, at least the one that I was in before they shut it off, and you you basically bide your time. You have a psychologist that comes and sees you. They prescribe you meds, usually to deal with your withdrawal and whatever it was. In my case, it would be alcohol. I had a pill, I believe it's called naltrexone, Naltraxone, that deals with alcohol cravings so that I could actually get to sleep. Because anybody that's been that alcohol addict knows that the one thing that's hardest to do once you're getting off alcohol is to take that snoozeroo. Damn near impossible. Got that? Got my night's sleep. Now you can be in there anywhere from 24 to 72 to God knows how many hours. There's no set time. This is not a schedule. The things that's scheduled in there is when the nurse comes in, wakes you up, and takes your blood pressure and your med times and meal times. That's where you're at. You have no shortage of snack foods or sugar or water or anything in there. They're not going to starve you or thirst you out. You're going to be okay. You're not going to go hungry or thirsty. From there, you can leave out of your own free will at any time. You're never a prisoner there. I'd left both out of my free will and uh, to go further in the program. I had requested long term. I had decided that short term care wasn't going to be the way for me to go. Went ahead and got into long term. They said, "We have an idea for you. How'd you like to join a long term?" I said, "Absolutely. What are you crazy? I've been babbling about this forever." A couple of nice ladies over in Reno, Nevada that helped me out. That specialize in this sort of thing got me into a very intensive inpatient rehab where I've been residing for the past 3 months, along with 70 other guys. And this is where I'm broadcasting my YouTube live from. Is a tiny little nook computer room library that's in the house here, in a 3-story converted 1922 motel in the center of downtown Reno, Nevada. To go ahead and hang with us, we're gonna go ahead and take a brief commercial break and be right back to you because I gotta check my laundry.
U-Track is a project management system that's designed to be flexible. You can customize projects to meet the exact needs of every team and process in your company. And when it's time for different teams to work together and create something amazing, U-Track makes collaboration as transparent and seamless as possible. So next time you need a web developer to work with a designer and a copywriter and the legal team and the PR team and the localization team, remember that it's easy with U-Track.
And we're back. So, subject tonight is what is the most addictive substance known to man? What is the rankings of addiction? I would say that's up for speculation, but who knows? Maybe there is an official addictive one. Top rated addictions. Now, most addictives are on a dependence rating. Now, dependence rating is what probably a bunch of scientists got together and decided through lab rats decided what would be most applicable to paper. So we'll go ahead and Google dependence rating of drugs. Ranking the harm of psychoactive drugs. Hmm. So, six types of drug dependence: alcohol dependence, opium dependence, hypnotics, sedatives, cannabis, hallucinogen, and cocaine abuse. Oh, we got it. Now we got a four stages of drug abuse and dependence. So they're saying that pre-existing mental health conditions, which is not entirely true, the cycle of addiction. Oh, and they have the seven stages of addiction. So before I go too far off of the rails here, we'll go with the rating. We'll give you the top 10 list: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, more items. Top 10 list according to drugpolicy.org. Our number is 212 613 0830. Most addictive drugs in the world. Okay. All right. So the rating of 1.95 on the number 7 list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, number 8 list. Sorry. Amphetamines, dependence rating of 1.95. We're going to have to find out more about this dependence rating that people have. Number 6. Oh, number 7. Be cocaine with dependence rating of 2.13. After that would be alcohol with the same dependence rating as cocaine, which is honestly up for debate. I'm not sure which one's more addictive, cocaine or alcohol, but I've tried cocaine and that wasn't really all that, but never been addicted to it. I tried crack. Crack was an interesting endeavor. Funny story on that. I went ahead and fell asleep, woke up, and there was a lady outside my door wandering around. I had to catch up to her and got to talking. Wasn't really sexually attracted or anything. She just seemed like an interesting freak out. So invited me to this motel over by downtown Reno and um, asked me if I wanted to do crack. And I said, absolutely, I'll try it. I had done it. I did 2 hits. I fell asleep on the floor there in the motel. Woke up to some lady that got beat all to L for stealing something out of a trunk, and I just said I gotta go smoke a cigarette. Took off. That was it. That was my deal with it. But the crack was a really nice 5 minute high. Methamphetamine dependence rate number 6, 2.24. I'm gonna guess that 3.0 is the dependence rating scale. Um, Methamphetamine, yeah, I can see it would definitely have to be up there. Arguing by the dependency rating that methadone is more addictive than methamphetamine. Go figure on that one. Methadone, I have heard, is extremely hard to get off of, especially from the flaps here. They would say that for months they would fiend for it. Which who's to say? Maybe so. I've never been addicted to methadone, but methamphetamine was my friend for a very long time. Coming in number 3 on our list is nicotine with a dependence rating of 2.82 out of a solid 3 stars. Nicotine I am personally dependent on, and it's a weird psychological deal because if you're somewhere incarcerated or unable to get to it, you the fiend is not nearly as bad as if you're out on the streets. If you're in jail, you just tell yourself, "Hey, I know I'm not getting a cigarette," and you don't get one. And the the, the dependence on it lessens. It's this weird psychological thing that if you go to jail, that you tend to not really think about it too much. Um, Reading is on the docket. Drinking lots of water replaces and helps with nicotine addiction. In my experience, when I couldn't have a cigarette, they say that in the wives' tale region, that the urge to do something such as nicotine, that the urge lasts 10 minutes. Now I've heard it range from 2 minutes to 10 minutes, but they say that the urge on that is a time deal. That, well, very well could be. Who knows? Nicotine dependence rating 2.82. Number 2 on the list, crack cocaine. Dependence rating 2.82. Same as nicotine, apparently. Like I said, I have done crack. I have done nicotine. And I've never been addicted to crack, but I have seen people addicted to crack, and you all hear the famous saying, you ever suck it for crack? And I'll tell you one thing, man, I'd never do it for a cigarette. So I can't, I've got no basis for comparison on that one. To any of you that have, wow, you got cigarettes beat hands down to the crack cocaine peeps. And number 1, the top dog, is heroin with a dependence rating of 2.89, which is actually a little bit lower than I thought it would be. Dependence rating of only zero point 0.7 out of 300. So 2.2 is crack and nicotine, and heroin would be 2.89. I'd have never thought that. I would have thought that they'd have been way higher, some of these. Like, who knows what the coffee rating is, but they say that bath salts are as addictive as coffee, which maybe it's true, but I have an uncle and he's addicted to coffee and cigarettes, but if he wakes up and does not have his coffee, he will go without a cigarette trying to find coffee. So it's all dependent on who you are. I guess it would be a psychosomatically subjective. Let's put it as a 3S kind of 3S corp. So that's our daily Napa Valley Rehab coast for the day. Still trying to find out dependence ratings. So past that, getting into, been in rehab now for 3 months, trying to keep my eggs together. Uh, could be a good thing for all of you out there that might want to get into active recovery. What you're addicted to, it can be inhalants, it can be heroin, it could be methadone, it could be Suboxone, it can be weed, any prescription drugs. They definitely regulate that. Prescription drugs is there's a weird gray curve in there with prescriptions. You can go and get prescriptions widely unknown, and do what you got to do with them. Before you know it, you're addicted. You hear a ton of stories about why heroin's making such a huge comeback because of these prescription drugs that are becoming readily available. When they run out, there's so many directions you can go. We're moving on to 141. We got about 4 minutes left in our show tonight. To give the rundown of dependence, our musical guest, which is a free audio library. You can get that on YouTube as a free audio library. So Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you again tomorrow.